Hello, everyone, and welcome to another Baxter Student Ambassador Program webinar of our 2022 season. My name is Dan McDonald, Sales and Marketing Development Associate with Baxter Media, and I'm here with Elizabeth Mckenzie, one of our BSAP finalists from Algonquin College. Now, just before we get into things, I'd like to give an enthusiastic shout out to our program sponsors this year. We have Manulife, Propel, powered by Tourism HR Canada, ACTA, the Association of Canadian Travel Agencies, TIO, the Tourism Industry Association of Ontario, and SCAL Canada. Thank you for helping to make BSAP a continued success. I'd also like to let everyone know that at the end of this webinar, you'll have the chance to submit a question or two to Elizabeth. To do so, please type them into the Q&A section of the public chat box or the chat box itself, which are both on the right-hand side of your screen, and those questions will be answered in due time. And remember, this is a live session, so your patience is appreciated during any technical difficulties that might arise. And without further ado, I will now hand things over to Elizabeth. Welcome, Elizabeth. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me. I just wanted to start by saying this opportunity has been amazing. And I'd like to talk to you about something that I've not so much thought of myself, but I know of people who have, which is Seoul, Korea. So welcome to Seoul, Korea. It's an amazing city. Something about Seoul, its history traces back to about 4000 BC when this Han River was initially settled, which is where Seoul is located. The city itself used to be surrounded by a large wall, and it protected citizens from wild animals, attacks from outside forces, and crime. Seoul is the capital of South Korea. It is home to half of the South Korean population that currently live in metropolitan areas. That equates to about 25 million people. And their surroundings in all those metropolises are highly urbanized with high-rise apartments dominating the Seoul skyline specifically. Seoul is known as a leading global city with regards to economy, livability, and technology that is mostly available to the citizens who live there. Seoul, Korea has become a leading world economy in regards to South Koreans who are known for ingenuity, inventiveness, as witnessed by the rise of brands such as Hyundai, LG, and Samsung. Religion and culture go hand in hand. South Korea is rapidly changing into a multi-ethnic, multicultural, and multi-religious society. Protected religious diversity is law. Something that is unusual as far as I know, we don't have any real law governing religion, but they do. People in South Korea are free to lead any religious life according to their own choices and convictions, whether they follow the major religions like Christianity, Confucianism, Catholicism, or any other ethnic religion. But as adherent to Korean native religions, such as Won Buddhism and Chendogya, and I apologize if I've mispronounced that. So basically, what that means is that is what has been the most influential in the life of Korean people. Over half of the country's cultural heritage is related to those last two religions. Also, here on the left, there's a picture of the Lotus Lantern Festival. It's actually a festival that is held to celebrate the birth of the Shakyamuni Buddha on the 8th day of the 4th lunar month, so basically April 8th. It is one of the biggest festivals that South Korea holds annually. Sorry. The old and the new. Seoul is one of the largest and most densely populated metropolises. Everywhere in Seoul, you will see the fantastic collision of old and new with temples, fortresses, palaces, and then among that, skyscrapers and modern apartment blocks. The public transportation system in Korea is generally considered to be one of the best in the world, whether it is going to a temple or whether it is going to a downtown eatery. You can take a bus, a train, a metro, all of which are affordable. They're very clean and very punctual. You can also opt for taxis, but like in most places, they cost a lot more than public transit. So when you come to Seoul, Korea, for medical tourism, which is something that has struck me as unusual in the beginning, but I'm learning so much about it. It's amazing. Entry and exit, you have a maximum stay of 90 days and up to including 180 days with a medical visa. So Australia, Canada, the UE, and the United States can stay for less than 90 days without a visa, unless it's for medical reasons, then you would require that visa. Today, people come to Seoul for everything from cosmetic surgery and hair transplants right through to cancer treatment. People can obtain a special medical tourist visa lasting for up to a year, depending on the procedure. And the Korean government's medical tourism goal is to attract 1 million patients to South Korea by the end of 2022. Oops, I do apologize for that. I skipped one. Medical visa requirements. You must have your passport, visa applications, photos, proof of medical. These things are all necessary because medical tourists to South Korea must be invited to receive medical services from the registered health providers, and there are medical tourism agencies. An international patient can stay in the country, but depending on the nature and medical procedure being done, it can last up to a year. People from some countries like Canada and the US, for example, can, as long as it is less than that initial 90 days, it is a US passport or a Canadian passport is the only requirement. However, when it comes to getting your visa, each country is different. So the information about those requirements to enter Korea for international patients should be checked with the South Korean embassy or consulate in the area of the client. Fully custom medical tours are designed. The thought of receiving medical treatment in a foreign country can be daunting. Not being able to speak the language or being unfamiliar with your surroundings can make you feel vulnerable, and especially if you're in a recovery process. But ETM Niche Travel, we're here to help make the experience stress-free, comfortable, and surprisingly even enjoyable. So what you need to know before you go is to bring your medical records, prescriptions, doctor's notes. All of those things must be available to aid the Korean doctor in choosing the best treatment for your clients. South Korea has a visa-free travel agreement with 112 different countries. So depending on where you go, what you're doing, again, I'm emphasizing the time frame, 30 days to 180 days, or the medical visa that would require you to stay up to a year. Finding a doctor in Korea is something that a medical tourism agency, such as ETM Niche Travel, would introduce the trusted, well-known hospitals and treatment centers, specialist doctors. Alternatively, you, as a travel consultant, could attempt to find all of these things for your client on their own, but it's much easier to work hand in hand with a facilitating company. Sorry about that. So the packages that can be offered would be from specialized hospitals, trusted doctors. The custom packages are determined by the needs of the patient at the initial consultation. So as a facilitating company, we would introduce you to the experienced doctors, specialized hospitals, offering the different treatments that are desired. And then packages would be designed around those treatments. And it also includes accurate pricing and scheduling for events during the stay. So fully tailored medical tourism is a comprehensive medical tourism that we can provide packages based on the client's needs, manage the entire process. Or if travel counselors would prefer, we can just fill in the blanks for the exciting arrangements that are going to happen for that client. But no matter what, our services are 100% tailored to a client's individual needs. And the travel counselor or travel agent can be involved in the process as much or as little as they prefer. We also provide guides in Seoul with no middleman. So, as a service based medical tourism agency, we understand that success is directly related to the quality and professionalism of the guides and staff. Therefore, senior management handpicks each staff member to ensure that the best team is available and that we stand out from the crowd. And the last thing to consider is the comfort and peace of mind. You're in a foreign country, your client's in a foreign country, I should say, and you don't know what's going to happen. So, from the initial consultation right through to introduction of the doctors, booking treatments, handling logistics, as the facilitating company, we can help remove all the stress by taking care of all the details, leaving your client to focus on recovery, but most of all, a way to enjoy some of their time while they are in Korea. There's 17,000 clinics in South Korea. Yep, I did actually say 17,000. Seoul City is home to 56 major hospitals, 500 cosmetic surgery clinics, and 11 international clinics. South Korea has an impressive medical system. It boasts one of the world's leading treatments, not only for liposuction or breast contouring, but jaw, nose, eye surgery, obviously all related to cosmetic fields, but it's also it's leading in treatments rates for stomach, liver, and cervical cancer. But if you include dental, dermatology, oriental medicine, and other types of clinics, Seoul does actually have 17,000 world-class quality clinics and hospitals. It's a leading destination for procedures and offers the highest quality medical services at an affordable price. It's also high quality for value with accommodations and facilities. Plus, they have a lot of healthy food and it's all within one dynamic city. The top three hospitals for South Korea medical tourism. Number one is Severance Hospital. It is the largest Korean hospital for international healthcare. The Seoul National University Hospital, SNUH, is the best choice for international patients searching specifically for cancer treatments. And of course, JK Plastic Surgery Center. It's the number one rated surgery facility in all of Korea. That is pretty amazing for them all to be in the same city and all available to international clients. So South Korea, it has a history, obviously. In 2004, South Korean government started to implement a hospital evaluation program as described by the Korean Medical Services Act, all regulated all the time. This includes assessment of hospitals with more than 300 beds every 3 years, under 300 beds every 2 years. This is done by collecting information through questionnaires, telephone surveys, on-site inspection, and the focus is on patient satisfaction and hospital management, as well as the site itself. All medical institutions and facilitators within the country who are interested in attracting medical tourists to South Korea, they have to register and comply with specific requirements that are listed in the country's Medical Service Act. Otherwise, there's no chance. So it's very, very highly regulated. And that's why they can claim to have such amazing quality. You may also check out that South Korea's health profile as of 2008 was currently updated 2018, and it is actually given by the World Health Organization, which is pretty amazing. Medical Help Desk. Yep, it actually says Medical Tour Help Desk. So this is basically your one-stop shop for consultation through a facilitator company. So from arrival and departure to everything in between. Seoul Medical Help Desk is there. It provides that one-stop service for facilitating companies. It's safe and trustworthy. Every medical agency, medical travel agency or tour agency will actually be in touch with the medical help desk for something. It doesn't matter if it's a consultation, if it's questions, tourist hotspots, They have it all. They can provide anything that anyone is looking for. The tour desk provides all of this information on these various services through the Seoul Medical Tourism Alliance. And it's the one that is in contact with specifically with the hospitals and doctors. So making a reservation or having a consultation is that much faster and easier. And the help desk is always involved and is always available. They also provide information on wellness attractions, medical tour courses with the Medical Care Plus restaurants, tourist recommendations. The help desk introduces products for partner businesses and wellness service providers. And the support is ongoing throughout the entire stay for your client. So, one of the many ways that they offer this support is through tourism coordinators. This whole medical niche travel has been so well thought out. There's 10 languages that they're offering currently. There's 92 coordinators currently through the help desk. They support foreign patients through their entire treatment course. Plus, they offer pickup and drop-off services for foreign patients from the airport. And it just seems like they just do everything that is required through that facilitating company. We act as the liaison between the travel counselor and the Seoul Medical Tourism Alliance specifically. But something that I found to be very unusual was the most popular procedure currently is the double eyelid surgery. So in order to register for any treatment, a medical specialist per department is required to monitor and ensure the quality of healthcare that is being provided. State-of-the-art equipment, cutting-edge devices are used in all of the country's hospitals, which is no surprise for the popular technology-savvy country that it is. Seoul is ranked number 1 for MRI machines, where South Korea is third, only behind Japan and the United States. But it's ahead of most of the huge European countries like Germany, UK, France, etc. The double eyelid surgery recovery time, you don't actually see what happens with this for up to a year. It surprises me, but you can actually have it done without incision or with incisions. It's just your swelling and your time frame works a little bit longer before you see the results. There's a number of stats, just real quickly, destination environment. So out of 46 destinations, it's the ranking for Seoul, South Korea. So 33 was their ranking for medical tourism industry, which I must say this was from a number of years ago. They haven't had it updated since prior to COVID. Quality and facilities and services, they ranked 10. It's an extremely low cost. Seoul being the capital of the country, it's the seat of the most key players in the medical tourism industry. Hospitals involved in South Korean medical tourism, they maintain an international patients department that employs English-speaking staff specifically hired to take care of medical tourists, international medical tourists. It's quite amazing. Now, the one thing that I found were these tips for Korean medical tourists. It's actually quite a surprise because they do all the research, the qualifications of the doctors. You can take advantage of attractions, beaches, going on a mountain hike, cultural sites. But all of this is after consulting with the doctor, and the doctor will advise you of the things that can be done or not done, or for your clients. I'm sorry, it's for your clients. These are the things that make it stand out from any other medical tourism as far as I'm concerned. The fact that the doctors will consult on what you're able to do while you're having any of your procedures. So it could be exposure to the sun, or it could be anything at this point, or at the certain amount of exercise that or energy that you're exerting. And this sample of procedures, it surprised me. The thing is, when we think of a very minor thing in comparison to plastic surgery, having a wisdom tooth removed, For us, we know it's crazy. We need to have it done. The wisdom tooth can be extremely painful, but then when you think about having your wisdom teeth pulled, if we don't have insurance, it can be $800. It could be $1,000. It just depends. But in Korea, it's $30 US, 30. This is an amount that surprises me. How can they do it so cheaply? It's considered one of the most minor procedures is to have your wisdom teeth pulled. Here, it's not so minor. But ultimately, people can go to South Korea for any of the treatments and they can save between 60 and 80% on most procedures. There's a few where you don't save quite as much, but the majority, 60 to 80%. It's quite a surprise. Why would you want to market and sell medical tourism? Well, ETM Travel is a facilitator company, as I've mentioned. As a travel counselor, we can connect you with and or your client with doctors, clinic boards for medical procedures. You'll receive a 5% commission on every procedure. As well, if you want to stay fully involved throughout the whole way, you'll also receive a percentage of commission on hotels and even air segments, depending on the platform that you use to acquire the flights. Counselors, like I have said, can be involved as much or as little as you or your client want. You can hand off directly to ETM Niche Travel, but even still, you will get the 5% for the procedure, no matter what. We want to make it as transparent and accessible for counselors to be able to make money. The other thing is travelers who are receiving medical procedures, they tend to stay where they need to go into the destination longer than your average leisure traveler. And studies into statistics have shown that it's usually 2 to 5 times longer depending on the procedure. This leads to a much higher percentage of commission on hotels, as well as booking the attraction packages that may or may not be available. All of those things become part of that package, and a percentage of that package is available to a travel counselor. Lastly, with ETM Niche Travel, there's a complimentary trip to Seoul, and you're able to see how the process goes from start to finish. It allows you to be more informed and accurately providing information to your clients. Thank you for choosing to speak with ETM Travel. All of my available contacts are here. Feel free to be in touch, and I'm hoping we can partner for Seoul, South Korea soon.
Thank you so much, Elizabeth. That was excellent. And I see a couple of questions have been submitted here already, and I can read those out. Ian Stalker from Baxter Media says, "Hi, Elizabeth. Korea is very advanced technology-wise. Do you think that overshadows some of the historical attributes?"
It actually does not, surprisingly. They are extremely savvy, but they protect their heritage. The collision of the temples with the high rise, with the palaces, they've made sure that those areas that are very historically significant and culturally significant are completely available within the urbanized setting.
Great, thank you. And Andrea is asking, why did you select travel and tourism services at Algonquin or anywhere over other industries and programs that were available to you?
I'm going to be brutally honest against myself. I was in a car accident in 2019. I had a very good job. I'm part owner in a security company, but I also worked for the government for a number of years. My accident happened just before the whole COVID pandemic outbreak. Things were going crazy, treatments were stopped. All of these things were going on. And I felt like I was losing my ability to cognitively and analytically think, something that I was very good at, especially within the jobs that I had held previously, working for Revenue Canada, helping to run a business, being on a board of directors. those were the things that I felt that I was losing because I was frustrated, and I felt almost like I was becoming depressed, and it wasn't good. I went to school, I picked Algonquin, and you'll have to forgive the thought, but I looked at travel and tourism as a fluff course, something that would be easy, but would force me to get back into that training mode. Little did I know, and forgive the expression, it kicked me in the butt. I woke up because I loved it. It was not easy. It was challenging. It was had some difficult concepts in respect to, say, the computers and the flights and fares, and but I was absolutely loving it, and I found I was getting myself back. So initially it was an easy COVID schooling, but it actually became something that I found I was very passionate about, and I truly like travel, but I like the idea of being part of the solution to all the issues that are currently being faced with travel.
Oh, thank you so much for that, Elizabeth. Yeah, really glad to hear that's something that started out as just a response to a really negative situation. Ended up being not only an adaptation, but something, or a way for you to discover a newfound passion. That's really great.
Absolutely.
And Ian is asking, do you think that there are many Canadians who are interested in medical tourism, and would they be concerned about possible language barriers?
Actually, there's a lot of Canadians. A lot of Canadians. When I was doing this research, I found that because we have such a diverse culture here, um, there has been so much more involvement with Chinese medicines, with different concepts of technology. It's transferred into the medical tourism. So there is approximately right now, and again, not including pandemic time, there is almost 17% of medical procedures that require Canadians to travel anywhere abroad or across a border are in South Korea. That's a huge amount for just one country. And I say that because we have insurance, we have great opportunities for things to be paid. It may take a little bit longer, but to have a full 17% of major procedures going there instead, I thought that was just kind of crazy at first. And then the research made me realize just how smart of a move it was. And the language issue, there isn't one specifically because, like, when I presented this, I presented it as if I was one of those travel companies, obviously. But these medical facilitating companies, these medical tour companies, they're unbelievable. And they do, because so much of the world does speak English, they have those English speaking. There's never a worry about even the guides. There's never a worry about a language barrier because even the guides all speak English. Your transportation speaks English. That's one of the things that they do. But to have 10 full on languages available, so whether it be French, German, Russian, whatever it is, they have them available. So there's no worries in that respect.
And that's very, very good to know. Not only for people that want to travel there for leisure, but also for travel agents that want to educate their clients about the country.
Exactly.
Well, I do believe that's all the time we have for today, but I'd like to give a huge thank you to everyone that attended this webinar today. Thank you all so much for being here and for supporting the Baxter Student Ambassador Program in its 8th year. And Elizabeth, thank you so much for your great presentation. It was wonderful having you here virtually with us.
Thank you.
So we'll be in touch with you again, definitely over the next 5 or 6 days.
All right. Thank you so much.
Great. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.